Hi, I'm Robert Osborne, and again, thanks for joining us for another installment in our guest programmer series, where we hand over the reins of our TCM kingdom to one of our famous friends, and they choose a lineup of movies and tell us why they picked the ones they did. And joining me right now is two-time Tony Award-winning actor and four-time Drama Desk Award winner, Nathan Lane. Welcome, Nathan.
Oh, thank you, Robert.
Good to have you here.
It's great to be here. I feel like we've moved into a little condo together.
Well, we have.
Just to watch movies.
We have. I can't think of anything better.
It's a thrill and an honor.
Thank you.
I watch TCM all the time, and
Thank you.
think of you as, you're like Tony Bennett. You're keeping the classics alive. And that's God's
And you're my
work.
Lady Gaga, right? Absolutely. Nathan's first movie choice is a film that served as a basis for a hit 2001 Broadway musical that brought Nathan one of those Tonys. It's Mel Brooks' The Producers from 1968. Interesting you picked this movie. Why did you pick it?
Well, long before I got to know Mel Brooks and my experience with the stage musical, I loved this film. I saw it first in 1980 in a revival house in Los Angeles with a packed house and people laughing their heads off. And I would say arguably maybe the funniest film ever made. I know Some Like It Hot always makes it to the top of the list, or Bringing Up Baby, and there are many more, but you know what I love about this is you're getting pure, unadulterated Mel Brooks. It's Mel at his Mel Brooksian. And it's right after he had done writing for television and Sid Caesar, Your Show of Shows, and the Caesar Hour, and it's sort of, you know, in those days especially, there were limitations. There was only so much you could do on television. And it's now him sort of given free rein and his own imagination. And, you know, I think it's such a brilliant comic plot, the notion that a down-on-his-luck producer and this accountant decide to put on the worst show ever written and just keep the money. Two indelible comic performances, Zero Mostel and Gene Wilder. They're, you know, as good as Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, or Gleason and Carney. I mean, that's, you know, I know some people, it was interesting having done the stage musical, people who hadn't seen the original film, and you have to say, this is what you should see. This is the real deal. This is these roles belong there to Gene and Zero. They're owned by them. I mean, Matthew and I rented them for a while and had a great time. But you know, it's as well as many other great comic performances in the film, and Mel winning an Academy Award for this screenplay.
And did you have a good time doing it when you did the stage version?
Oh, we had the best time. I mean, you know, you had the advantage of the people who remembered the film, because it became, even though when it first came out, it didn't make any money, and for a lot of critics, it was dismissed as tasteless and vulgar and all those things that have become very popular these days. You know, I think it was ahead of its time.
Right.
I think that, you know, when we were doing it, it was sort of almost nostalgic. And these two roles, you know, iconic roles, it's such great material to start with. To start with an Academy Award-winning screenplay, and then Mel and Tom Meehan and of course Susan Stroman based on that, created this wonderful stage musical, and it was like a party every night. I mean, I remember that's what Carol Burnett said. She came backstage afterwards and she said, "This reminds me of the old days on Broadway," and it felt like I was invited to the greatest party ever, hosted by Mel Brooks and you and Matthew, and it was, you know, it was certainly a huge thing in my career to have gotten to work with Mel and to get to know him and Bancroft, and it's you know, something I'll never forget.
Magical time.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see the movie. Here it is, written and directed by Mel Brooks from 1968, The Producers.